We're about to talk with Charlie about his Attack Basketball Academy. It seems like anytime I'm on here with Charlie, we've talked a little bit about what he's been working on with it, and it's finally starting to come to fruition. And Charlie's going to share some of that with us today. So, Charlie, go ahead and take it away. Start us off wherever you want to start us off, and we'll get going.
Hey man, I appreciate it. John, man, this is year 11 for me. I mean, it feels like I just started. This is year 11, and I can honestly say it has taken 10 years to get to this place and space where I can finally say, in this realm of basketball development, the realm I chose. I chose this is more of a niche. This is not like, if you were to ask me, John, okay, Charlie, would you want to go coach X's and O's, or you want to go coach what we call Jim and Joe's players, right? Hands down, put a gun to my head, players all day. Because to me, that's what I felt I excelled at. I excelled at player development. I really loved the off season, loved the season too, but to get a chance to look at how I can get better. And what I was getting better at was not necessarily just physical. How can I get better spiritual? I can get better emotional. Like, I wasn't saying these things as a player 20 something years ago, but it was always around me. And just hearing people like yourself, other coaches, other mentors, or man, hey, you'd be a great motivational speaker, or you'll be a great this, that. I'm like, well, what is it tied to basketball? Why are people saying this? And it just finally clicked. It finally clicked. And I think when I started joining the show, I was in the middle of really putting together my projects. My wife is my business partner. Again, we've been doing this since 2009. And needless to say, 10 plus years in, we now have it organized where we have a direction and we have a better understanding as to what we want to do with this. And for me, what I want to do with this is become a major world resource in basketball development. That's simply it. Take what I've learned from, the people like Coach Knight, the Coach Fellings, the Coach Dockages, the Mike Davises of the world, people that you may not know, coaches from overseas I've learned from, I played played against, just putting it all in my perspective on basketball development, right? And it was a struggle. It was a true struggle, people, because it's like my interpretation of what true development should be. And then two segments of it: individual skills, then what I would call universal team concepts. And having one of the best teachers, and I'm gonna tell you just my truth, one of the best teachers ever in basketball, hands down, and we can say obviously, is Coach Bob Knight. Now, I'm gonna argue with that. Not the best X and O's. He was the best teacher of basketball because Coach taught us how to play, not what to play. He taught you how to think on your own. He gave us autonomy. Not saying that's wrong on X's and O's because we didn't really play that way. It wasn't set plays, right? It was more sets and actions. He put you in position and you understood if-then rules in a sense, right? And for me, that comes down to now what I call a system, a method. And any system is always designed to create a predictable result. When we played games, that's how we practice. That's how we watch film. If they switch, we will slip at the level of the screen. That's a breakdown understanding. And I'm taking all of that stuff I've learned, but then I'm adding 3 more segments. The first segment I'm adding is the psychological piece, right? The mindset. We talk about mindset, confidence, but there's a certain way I look at that, right? There's a psychological aspect to this. Then there's a physical aspect to it as well, to the body. Endurance, perseverance, right? Then what I really excelled at was what I call the mechanical side of this, which is technique, right? This is the individual skill. This is what we marvel at: who can shoot, who can finish, who can dunk, who can run, who can cut, right? And then the last piece of that is tactics, right? Now you got to put it all together in the universal team concepts. And I mentioned this before on the show. To me, there's 5 things all great offenses have in common. It's spacing, right? We talk about spacing with Indiana a lot. When the spacing is great, they play great. We talk about ball movement. They get ball reversals. We talk about Parker Stewart being a high callous. When we move the ball, he's in the game, he gets high percentage shots, right? Because there's long closeouts to him. They're getting ball reversals and defensive teams give up, right? Now you put him in position. We want to get him more looks. They get more ball reversals. He gets more looks when he plays. Player movement. I think we focus more on that as a whole. We talk about the individual player, but that's to me a small piece. Now I go off what Coach Ron Fellman would always tell me, be hard to guard. That's just my way of telling players, you have to be hard to guard with player movement. Then you go into drive and kick, penetrate, pitch. We talk about Xavier Johnson, sometimes over-penetrating, now stuck, right? They're stuck. Then my last piece of that is now screening, which we see now in basketball. It's not necessarily more off-ball screens. It's a lot of on-ball screens and dribble handoffs. So you put all that together, that's what I've been focusing on, man, the last 10 plus years of my life. Really like a surgeon, expert, like just going into this. Not spending a lot of time watching a lot of games, just really focusing on, man, how can I get this stuff out of my head on the paper? How can I really help the players that I'm training transfer this skill where they can keep it for life? And then I use my training tactics as a metaphor for life, because it is, right? And there's just something I simply say, this show, everything I do, it's a game of directions, man. It's a game of directions, right? We were throwing a curveball today. Jim is not here. We have to do what? Pick up the pieces. It's funny I wear this sweater because this sweater it's a Martin Lawrence, it's a Martin show saying, but we literally are doing that, right? And that's all I'm about, man. The number one constant thing in life is adaptability. And that's what I want players to experience. And also my second thing I want them to experience is margin for error. Overcoming, making mistakes, stand on the court. And those are the players that really become great, become elite, not because they can make a shot at a moment's notice. They have built in a margin for error. The coach allows them to play through that mistake. They overcome adversity. They use, we call eustress, the psychological positive side of distress, to really excel. And those are the things I'm teaching. And people, it's taken some years to really get out and to make happen from concept to creation.
Yeah, it's awesome. And so one thing I noticed we talked about last night, your YouTube presence. You started to, and I know you were kind of getting into that a little bit with your videos and stuff like that, but you were going to show us one of those and explain kind of what you're doing with your new program and how you want to reach out to those people.
Yeah. So one of the YouTubes, let me set this up. I'm going to show everyone. And so you understand what I'm doing. Now, please follow me on YouTube at Attack B-Ball, and I'll show you coming up is every single day, Monday through Friday, I have a video that's being released, and I'm teaching. It's whatever that topic might be. In particular, the one we're going to look at right now is how to fix your basketball shooting. And, something that, for me, why I was recruited to Indiana and something I was really good at when I was younger. I couldn't articulate it when I was younger. Even you asked me, hey, why do you shoot? How can you shoot like that? Now I can shoot right-handed, left-handed, and kind of go both ways. It was just something I did. Now understanding the language behind it, I'm very, very big on content, what I say, how I say it, keeping it simple. If it's a third grader to a 7-year-old, second grader, all the way up to a pro, I like to say the same things. And one of the videos you're going to watch right now is me talking about how to fix your shot in basketball, because a program I created, I'm going to show you also coming up, is an 8-week shot fix course I created on my courses page as a resource. Okay, so let's kind of go to it right now. You see this right here?
All right. Let's pull it up. Here we go.
You see it? Right. So
yes,
just
sir.
Yeah, so watch like we'll watch about 2.5 minutes of it, just me talking about shooting.
Hey, what's going on? It's Coach Charlie with Attack Basketball Academy. Shooting is my specialty. See, my freshman year in high school, throughout my junior year in high school, I averaged well over 25 points per game. My senior year, I averaged 32 points per game because shooting was my thing. See, even in college, I was known as a shooting threat. See, because I'm so passionate about shooting, today I'm going to show you exactly how to fix your basketball shooting form. Let's jump right into it. In this video, I'm going to share with you the number one tweak you can make to your basketball shooting form to become an elite shooter. Then, I'm going to show you the tried and true way to create your own elite level shooting form on every shot. I teach this to every player I train individually, and it is amazing how quickly their shot form improves after I show them. Last, I'm going to show you the number one skill you must have down cold to ensure that your shot form results in buckets. So what is the number one tweak you can make to your basketball shooting form to become an elite shooter? Your mentality. What do you have on your mind? See, let me give it to you. See, in order to be considered an elite shooter, you must learn to shoot a quick and accurate shot. Now, what do I mean by quick and accurate shot? See, you need to have a quick and accurate shot, meaning this. You need to learn how to become what we call a straight line shooter. That is the key. It first starts with your mentality, then it comes down to your mechanics. How quickly can you get into position and shoot the basketball? And I have to pause here because I want to say the right word. And I want you to keep this video, editor. I love to keep authentic videos because if I miss a shot, it's real. It's a part of the process, right? Because it's all about your mechanics. It's all about your mentality and mechanics. And I hope I miss a shot. I really do, right? I'm not lying. I'm not joking, right? I hope I do because I want to show you that's what it's about. I told you shooting is my specialty, and you see why, right? Right? I'm gonna keep shooting till I switch. I think I just switched that one, right? Okay. I think the point's made. See, when you have a mentality, you want to now foster your mechanics. You want to bring it along with you. And when you put all those together, you become a straight line shooter. That's how you become an elite shooter. Before I show you the tried and true way
John,
to create
you
your
get the
own elite level shooting form,
you get the gist of it right there, right?
Yeah, and I love how let me remove this real quick.
Yes, sir.
I love how you say you want to miss a shot, and yet you're not missing a shot.
And I know I'm not going to miss
all
a
that.
shot. And I say that in confidence, not in arrogance, because that's what I'm talking about. I'm an active coach. I'm not just somebody who talks X and O's or just talks about individual, all these things, and I'm just on the sideline. And that's not wrong. The people I've learned from, the people I've mimicked, they're active. I'm on the court because it's one thing to talk about basketball as a former player, as a current coach. It's another thing to still have that perspective as being on the court. Man, it's tough, John. It's not easy to go out there and play in front of 18,000 people. You're not prepared for that every night. I don't care how tough you are. You're just not. You're not made for that, dude. That's not normal. Then you have millions of people talking about you, that breaking down your game, and then you lie. I don't watch that stuff. You do watch that stuff because you care. You're human. So it's like, again, for me to have that ability 25, 30 plus years in to go out there and do that left-handed, right-handed, because I have to teach it now, right? I have to teach it. And when you teach, you learn twice, because now you find small attention to detail that, man, I teach through reflection. I teach more through failures than successes, right? So I say this in love. I'm not going to miss a shot. I know I'm not. I'm not going to miss.
Even the lost art of the elbow jumper. That's what you were taking the whole time, where there was elbow jumpers.
Yeah, well, and that's just more so I don't get outside the camera too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's first of all, production is just me, right? Until we can continue to develop this stuff, right? So I got a static camera that can't move with me, so I don't want to get outside the window. It can't pan, right? So, but that mid-range shot, my mentality has always been that's a layup. That's for me. I mean, literally like 15, 18 footer shot. That's a floater runner layup finish. And it's like, you shouldn't even think twice about that, especially as a high level college player, professional player. That's a make. Like I'm surprised if I don't shoot straight, you know. And I say again, this is over the years of development and understanding the art of shooting and teaching it to literally tens of thousands of players across the world. Something that's pretty cool that I want to also pull up if I can. And if you can search it while I'm talking about this, look up Attack Basketball Scotland. Look up Attack Basketball Scotland. I've had the opportunity, people, to go to Scotland twice. Actually, it's Aberdeen, Scotland, and actually coach. And the people over there had an organization. They were so appreciative of what I was teaching and coaching. And we're watching film, breaking down everything I'm talking about right here, from shooting to mentality to emotional intelligence. They said, man, you know what? We actually want to take your philosophy, your methodology of coaching and teaching basketball. We want to use it. We want to create Attack Basketball Scotland. And I don't get any royalties on that. More so, I was just flattered. And I'm like, man, that's what this is about. Again, I want to become a world resource in basketball. When you think about basketball development for your kids, I want you to think about Charlie Miller. And, you know, that opportunity came about. And it's pretty neat to understand that there actually is an Attack Basketball Scotland.
So I was actually searching this on YouTube. Is it the website you were talking about?
Yeah,
I didn't see it on YouTube.
Just go to Google. Just go Google Attack
Okay,
Basketball.
I got you.
Yeah. I didn't want to get off and do that on my own. I just want you to look at it. So, but yeah, man. So it's like, you know, it's you know, these are things I call the unseen hours. You know, a lot of the stuff I've been doing over the last 11 years, people may not know, right? Because I don't really advertise it. That's what I'm getting better at, advertising. But I just wanted to make sure I had the right pieces in place. So when I do it, you know, it's more about the action and execution style of it than saying, hey, here's what I'm looking to do.
I think I found what it is. Were you wanting me to pull it up and show?
Please, by all means.
I could be very wrong on what this is, but this is what I think.
Wrong, we're wrong.
And if I'm wrong, we'll, like I said, pick up the pieces. This it?
You're not wrong. That's it. You're not wrong. If you go to, I haven't been on their website, but if you go to go to the About page.
Okay.
And go, and again, I haven't been on their website. Go to Mission and Vision. Let's see what that says. But that's basic. That's it.
Coming soon. But hey.
Well, yeah, that's it. Yeah, man. Attack Basketball Scotland. Literally. I mean, so you went to it. I remember when her name is Ruth Grant. Yeah, we're thinking about the lion, what the lion represents. Hey, that's great. I mean, you know, hey, and use me as a resource. And we were sharing. I'm sharing all of my back end information with them, you know, where this film study, whether it was, I mean, attention to detail over the last, you know, again, this has been 4 or 5 years, and that's now starting to develop. So it's pretty cool to understand and know, you know, and again, coming back again, being a former IU basketball player, you know, a lot of times you look at the Mike Woodsons, the Randy Whitmans, they go on to coach in the NBA, and here I am, I'm looking to do my best at a rendition of that, but looking to help players throughout the world, man. But to me, it's just a metaphor for life. Like how you learn on the court, you could do the same thing off the court as well.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks again, Charlie, for sharing us your update on what's going on with your Attack Basketball Academy. We're excited to see what that becomes into, whether it's your YouTube presence or just your program in general.
Yeah.
We're going to have all that information up on thehoosier.com. I know we say that every time, but
yeah,
we'll get a special section for it, and we'll make sure people around Indiana get the word out. And you say, I think you mentioned on the phone, you have, I know this is months away, but before we go to break, you have a camp or something coming up in June or July in Noblesville.
Yeah, actually, I want to go here so people can see this.
All right, let me pull it up.
So
there you go.
Yeah, so I want to, and this is definitely a link, John. We want to get up on the site.
Absolutely.
This is where I'm able to travel throughout the world. In a sense, the company's called Breakthrough Basketball. You know, they're a top internet resource when it comes to basketball for coaches, players, and parents. And I've been with them for 6+ years. You know, here's my bio, and then here's my camp schedule that actually is coming up this 2022, starting in March. What I'm doing here in Dallas, But then here's the most important part, people. I'm coming home June 14th through the 16th. I'll be in Noblesville, Indiana, teaching a camp on footwork and mentality called Attack and Counter. If you click on either which link, it'll take you exactly to the website, the marketing page, and you can see what players will get out of the camp, right? Footwork, mentality, post moves, finishing inside, ball handling, fast break skills. I mean, and it's 3 days, 18 hours, 6 hours each day. A lot of teaching, a lot of action, man, a lot of reps, right? The format of the camp, you see everything here. Again, who you're going to learn from. So my goal is to get this camp sold out. We'll have about 60 players. Typically, it's a sellout. Depending on support and help, John, we can sometimes go up to 65 to 70. But I want to sell that camp out, right? So the quicker we can get this information up there, man, and I think they're starting to take registrations as well, better. So people can get a firsthand look at Coach Charlie, not Charlie Miller, the basketball player, but at Coach Charlie back in Indiana.
Perfect. Well, we'll definitely get that up for you. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. Jim Coyle will be back with us when we come back. You're listening to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by the great folks at Andy Moore Honda. We're back after this.